There's a bag of rice in your pantry right now, and I want you to go grab it before I say another word. I'll wait. Got it? Good. Now flip it over. Look for two words, grown in, or a country name, maybe California, maybe Thailand, maybe it just says product of USA and leaves it at that. Hold on to whatever you find, because by the end of this video, that's the only thing on the bag that's going to matter to you. Not the brand, not the picture of the farmhouse, not the price. Here's the moment that got me started down this road. Dinner rush, rice boiling on the stove, my youngest asking for the fourth time if it's ready yet. And I'm standing there with the bag in my hand reading the back like it owes me money. Because somebody told me at a barbecue, casual as anything, that the bag I'd been buying for years wasn't really about the brand at all. It was about where the rice actually grew. And I thought, wait, what? I'm Penny. I'm a mom of two, and I'm the one holding up the checkout line, flipping a 20-pound bag over while my kid tugs my sleeve. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a lab tech. I'm just the mom who got curious one Tuesday and never really stopped. And here's the deal I always make with you. You don't have to take my word for one single thing today. Everything I'm about to tell you traces back to a real study, a real recall, or a real lawsuit. The kind of thing you can pull up yourself tonight on your own phone. I'm naming brands. Then you go check me. That's it. That's the whole arrangement. So let me give you the one tool, the thing you keep even after you've forgotten every brand name I say. Rice pulls up arsenic from the soil it grows in. That's just what the plant does. It's nothing sneaky. It's biology. But where it grows changes how much it pulls up, and so does whether it's white or brown. Rice grown in the southern states, places like Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, and Missouri, has tested consistently higher in arsenic than rice grown anywhere else in the country. Meanwhile, California-grown white rice, Thai jasmine, and Indian or Pakistani basmati have tested consistently lower, sometimes about half the level. And within any single brand, brown rice tests higher than white rice from that same company every single time researchers have checked. So, here's the rule. Region matters more than brand, and white almost always beats brown. Say it with me. Where it grew, not who sold it. Now, let's walk the shelf, worst toward best. And I'm starting with a name a lot of you trust because of where you shop, not because you ever check the bag. Number 1, the long grain brown rice from Whole Foods, the 365 everyday value line. The costume here is the Whole Foods name itself. The assumption that a store known for ingredient standards must be holding its own house brand to that same bar. But independent testing comparing it against other major brands found this particular brown rice running about a third higher in arsenic than the others, high enough to come in above the national average. My verdict. The store can be trusted without the bag automatically earning that same trust. They're not the same thing. Number 2, Goya medium grain. The costume is generations of pantry trust. The bag that's been in Latino households forever. The name that feels like family. But testing flagged this one specifically for lead concerns. And on top of that, limited transparency about where the rice is actually sourced from. My verdict. A name you grew up with isn't the same as a company that's showing you its work. Number 3, Kroger basmati. The costume is the everyday grocery store basmati, the convenient one sitting right there on the shelf when you don't want to drive across town for it. But testing found this one elevated in arsenic and cadmium at the same time, which is the part that gives me pause. Because most bags only show one flag, not two stacked up together. My verdict. When a bag raises two different concerns instead of one, that's not bad luck. That's a pattern. Number 4, great value, the Walmart brand. Now, I have nothing against a low price. A low price is a wonderful thing when you're getting what you pay for. But testing across the great value rice line found real inconsistency. The basmati and the brown rice running higher than the plain white from the very same brand. My verdict, cheap is fine. Unpredictable is the problem. You shouldn't need a chemistry degree to know which bag off the same shelf is the safer one. If you're already walking back to your own pantry in your head right now, go ahead and hit subscribe because the buy list is coming and I promise you it isn't the expensive stuff you're bracing for. Number 5, Mahatma. The costume is the red and yellow bag that's been on shelves longer than most of us have been alive. The kind of packaging that feels like it doesn't need to prove anything anymore. But the brown rice from this line tested with notably elevated arsenic, and the brand has been named in pending litigation over heavy metal levels. My verdict: a long history on the shelf is not the same as a clean bill of health. Longevity isn't proof. Number 6, Ben's Original. The rice you probably grew up calling by its old name before the company rebranded a few years back. The costume now is the fresh packaging, the new name, the sense that the whole identity got an update. But the sourcing didn't move an inch. It's still consistently coming out of the southeastern growing region, the same region that tests higher across the board. My verdict: you can rename the box. You can't rename the soil the rice grew in. Number 7, Good and Gather, Target's Modern House brand. The one with the clean fonts and the trendy little logo that makes it feel like the thoughtful choice. The costume is exactly that. Modern, intentional, like somebody at Target really sat down and considered your family. But the jasmine rice from this line was recalled by the FDA back in September of 2023, with close to 3,000 cases pulled from more than 24 Target distribution centers after contamination was found. My verdict: a nice logo doesn't tell you who's actually running the production line behind it, and in this case, that line had a real problem. Number 8, and this is the one that bothers me most because it's not even really about the rice inside, it's about the name on the front. Rice Tech, sold under the Texmati label, marketed for years as long grain American basmati. Here's the costume laid bare. The company doesn't actually hold a basmati trademark at all. There's no such thing as American basmati in any official sense. It's a marketing phrase dressed up to sound like the real Indian and Pakistani grain. And this isn't just me being picky about words. The company was sued by one of its own seed farmers, who alleged he'd been sold defective, impure seed, and that the company misrepresented what he was buying. My verdict: when a company won't even tell the truth about its own name, I don't feel great trusting it with anything else. So that's your 8 to set down. And here's the thing I want you to really sit with, because I'm not interested in making you scared of your own pantry. None of this is some company sitting in a back room deciding to poison families. Rice just naturally pulls metal up out of whatever ground it's planted in. That's true everywhere. Every single brand, every single bag, even the good ones I'm about to name. The problem is that most companies buy whichever region's harvest is cheapest that season and slap the same trusted name on the bag, regardless of where it came from that year. Busy parents grab the familiar bag because that's what busy parents do. There's a kid pulling at your sleeve and dinner needs to happen. It's not a villain. It's just what happens when a crop gets bought and sold across a whole country, and the front of the bag never has to answer for where the back of the bag says it grew. Now, the good news, because I never like to leave you with just the bad part. First, Trader Joe's. Their basmati and jasmine rice came in among the lowest arsenic levels of any brand in recent testing. Genuinely some of the best numbers on the shelf. No fancy claim needed, just good sourcing. Second, Lundberg Family Farms. After independent testing first raised concerns across the industry years back, Lundberg didn't get defensive. They started testing hundreds of their own samples and sharing those results publicly with the FDA. That's the kind of company that wants you checking its work, not avoiding it. And third, and this is the part that costs you nothing extra, just by region instead of by brand. California grown white rice, true Thai jasmine, true Indian or Pakistani basmati. Whatever name is on the front, if the back says one of those places, you're already most of the way to the safer choice. Because remember the rule, it's about where it grew, not who sold it. Now here's your free hack, and it works no matter whose bag you're holding. Cook your rice the way you'd cook pasta. Use extra water, more than the bag tells you to, let it boil, and then drain off whatever's left before you serve it. Testing has shown this simple swap can meaningfully cut down how much arsenic ends up on the plate, and it costs you nothing but an extra minute at the strainer. So here's your homework, and I mean go do it right now while this is still fresh. Walk back to that bag you pulled out at the start of this video. Tell me in the comments the brand and tell me exactly what it says about where it grew. I want to know how many of you are holding a clean bag and how many of you just found a little surprise you didn't know was hiding there. And if you want me flipping bags over with you every single week, finding the ones worth trusting and calling out the ones wearing a costume, go ahead and subscribe. And I'll see you in the rice aisle next time.